box to understand it, and the box we created was like this vision of a man, and it's, I don't know, a white man, but that could be argued, or I don't know, that's a whole nother concept. But and then I started thinking, even beyond all of that, like, there's such a separation. But, like, I find myself to be a very spiritual being. I also feel that, like, God, I do believe in God. I find a lot of, like, having faith in something greater than yourself, it really adds a lot to one's life. And so, yeah, I don't really know. I've always grown up saying, like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, but I'm also curious, like, why. I just feel that we as humans have the tendency to, in order to understand something that is so great and so beyond us, beyond like what we can really almost, fully explain, we like have to have these ways to explain it that make sense to us. Like, we have to have a visual, a story to understand it. But in all honesty, none of us actually know, and like what has been written, it's all about perception. Like, the person writing it could have rewritten it. Like, it's been rewritten over and over and over again. And not just that, but like all of the, any form of information can be morphed and changed depending on who is intaking said information. Because I truly do feel, and like I have heard and we've said, that what we hear and how we see people is all depending on how, it's like a reflection. What we see reflects like how we are as a person. If we are someone who, like, it all depends on how we view things for us to to understand a concept. But it's like I could say something and you could take that in and be hearing something completely different than what I'm actually trying to say. And that I've realized a lot in relationships that I have. Like, one thing that I start to do now in a lot of my relationships, or I'm trying to practice and work this muscle, is to repeat what I'm hearing. Like, okay, you're saying, oh, this frustrates you, or like, oh, this purple scrunchie is, I feel like this is going to be ridiculous, me even trying to give an example. Like, this purple scrunchie is getting on my last nerve. I don't want this anymore. Or like, it's so ridiculous. I'm going to follow through with that just because, and then I'd be like, oh, what I'm hearing is that you really don't like that purple scrunchie, and to not ever get you purple scrunchies ever again. And the person would be like, no, like, I love purple scrunchies. I do, and I definitely would still want one in the future. I'm just saying that this one is actually aggravating me because of this little pokey thing that's on it, and so I'm going to get rid of this one. But no, I wasn't meaning I don't like purple scrunchies. Or that's totally a horrible example. Because, yeah, I wish I would just, like... Anyway, gonna just move forward. And I probably hope that, like, I'm gonna come back to that and come up with a good example, because there are many, but it's just hard to, off the top. I have something I'm actually trying to explain first. So let's get back to that point, and then in the future, maybe I can make a video that's a good example. of, talking about how one can say something and it be interpreted differently than what is actually being said or what the person's trying to get across. Because words are funny like that. Same with like text messages and stuff. That's an even more drastic example. Anyways, yeah, so I was thinking about religion and spirituality and just those concepts and like why there's this separation. And then even like there's this new concept, or yeah, is like new ageism. Like there's a lot, where, and I feel like new ageism is this, like, a lot of us are coming into awakening and like we all woke or whatever. They're super cliche words, but like I do feel there is this transitioning happening consciously as a whole, and I do believe that's creating like this spectrum of like things that are really intense and that need changing coming to the surface. So everything looks in disarray and like there's like true chaos and like suffering, and that is true. But I think that what's happening is that it's not that it's all of a sudden what is the case. I think that's been happening for a long time, and we're just coming to a point where the buildup is like, what must go up must come down, and this is just the backlash of so much of like continuous bad, not bad, but like not the most enriching or like most productive, I don't know, habits and patterns as a human civilization. We have been basically like we have taken some turns and started some different process things that are happening. Like the way that we function as a whole has become detrimental to our actual being, and this happens a lot in history, and many like not that I paid that much attention in history, but the reason I didn't pay that much attention in history is because I didn't believe the history that was being taught. Like, how am I supposed to trust the people that wrote this shit? That's how I feel about, somewhat of the Bible, but I can say that about anything. But like I say, stay true to your heart, stay true to you. That's all you can do. Take in information, learn, grow, but make sure that you only like what resonates with you. We have strong sources. I truly believe like when I follow my heart and my stomach, that's what was bringing me to. So there's this thing that's happening where there's this concept of new ageism, but it's interesting to me that they call it new ageism, because it's a lot of what new ageism is a lot of, I feel, people or us, those that are trying to heal. Really, there's a lot of trauma and a lot that we have done to ourselves and others, and like just throughout generations that weren't the best. Like we have been like raping and pillaging civilized there's a lot that has happened that wasn't the best, and so we have a lot, and we are energetic beings, so we take on a lot of this happenings. We create defense mechanisms like survival of the fittest. Like our mind and our bodies are like scientifically, it shows like we are built to adapt. And how do we adapt when we're going through stressful shit? Like in the beginning it was lions that were chasing us and like, trying to survive out there in the wild. And so our minds were like, oh, when there's certain things that cause stress or anxiety, that means run, like run away. There's a lion. There's this feeling of fear and scaring and stress. That means go, take off. And that is like been embedded in us for a long time. So when we went and grew into other stressful situations, they weren't necessarily lions and stuff chasing us or having to sleep in a cave and stay awake and wondering if we're going to be okay. It became like the stresses of like taking care of families and working and all of this stuff. Like throughout history, the stresses have changed, but there's still stress factors. When we feel those stress factors, it's built in our body to react in a fight or flight manner. And so I feel there's a lot of us that are trying to heal what has impacted our spirits and our hearts, and we are but utilizing, looking into ancient ways. So it isn't even new. Like, this concept of new ageism really is peculiar to me, because I feel most of what is being brought to the surface, so yeah, I was about to go on a different tangent, but I'm about to get to that. So yes, new ageism, it's bringing concepts that we haven't really heard. There's all different types on the spectrum. People that are seeing that it can be profitable, so they're coming in. But that's with anything. With anything, there are going to be those that are not like, we're all at different realms in this process of growth. So like, I do believe in reincarnation, and there are some of us that have lived more lives. Like, there could be someone who's younger than us, someone who was born after we were in this lifetime, but they have still lived more lifetimes than I have. So this child might be actually older than me, even though they're younger than me in this reality. That's my personal perception, concept, but truth. And that's my truth. So yeah, my opinion, truth, whatever. So what I'm trying to get at, though, is that we are taking concepts. I feel this new age is bringing concepts that are actually really ancient. People who, and like tribes and our ancestors were using these things, and we actually just got so caught up, and like they were left in the past for us to come back to. But they're always there. That's why they made these carvings and walls, these teachings that they're trying to keep going. It's because we have a mission here, and there are some of us, light workers, whatever you want to call them, intuitives, whatever, seekers, truth seekers. That's even my tarot deck. What's wonderful is, like, my tarot deck is like, I'll show you guys, I wish I had it right here to be like, but I am literally, yeah, all my stuff is all over the place. If you've seen my other videos, you know I'm in between housing right now. Yes, not everything when you are healing is always peachy keen. I am not some like rich yoga instructor with retreats happening, but that will happen soon enough. This is the process. I'm going to be doing that in hopes to help and heal people as I get stronger in my healing journey, but this is just the beginning. Anyway, so new ageism, spirituality, religion, why is there this separation? I feel like that's basically what I'm trying to get at, is that yes, we can look into each one when it comes to religion, and those that believe in God and like want to believe in a higher power in that way, and listen to the word that has been repeated and spread throughout years, and maybe it was morphed and changed, but there is like a really beautiful root to, I feel, the concept of God, and like what was shared and what is shared. That's beautiful. The Bible, I think, is a very beautiful thing. There are people and there are entities, and I don't necessarily I feel like maybe there was information, or that book was, there was the opportunity for power was seen. So yes, I do think that the intention from the Bible, like, it was to be shared so that we can become closer to what we are, our higher entity. That brings me back to the He is greater than I. We are that. I feel like when we are like the Bible and other like religions and spiritual teachings were to bring us back to that knowing of what we really are, which is God. I'm not saying we created all of this. I don't really know that. I'm not saying I am God, like in a way that like God, there isn't something greater than me, but we are that. We were created by that, whether it was us or this higher entity or the universe or whatever it may be. We don't know. I don't know. But what I do know is that what feels truly right and resonates in my spirit is that, like, I used to little myself. I used to be like, no, God is greater than I am. I would pray and I would help for healing for the world and for others. But what really changed in my life when I became stronger, when I connected to something greater, was when I realized I was of that greatness and that I deserved that love as well. Like, I am as great. I am, like, He is greater than I, but I am Him. Therefore, like, yeah, if that even, I believe there is something greater than us, but we are part of that greatness, so we are just as great in a weird, like, paradoxical way. But either way, like, I think that what I'm really trying to get at also is that I see so many people, including myself, as for a moment where I was like, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, or like there's just this separation between those who are religious, those who are spiritual, and then this other stuff called New Ageism coming out. I don't even know. But I think that we are all in the same thing. We're all in it together. We all, like, if you really break it down, it's even like with politics and stuff, like we all really want and share the same core values. It's just that that's it too, like the understanding of what we're trying to say to one another. Like, this person's saying something and we already are so defensive because we perceive these, like, this other, this person, this being, this other me, this connected like, we are all connected. So this versus, like, democratic, republic, religious, spiritual, it's so black and white. And I think that when we will be able to actually like fix things and understand what was really trying to be shared, the message that was actually trying to be shared, we will understand it more if we come together and realize that our minds are just creating these boxes and these separations to try and understand. But we're really all saying the same thing, and I just think that we're already have this feeling of us versus them, this mentality of there's my beliefs and their beliefs, and they're different, completely different. And so before we even we don't even allow ourselves to hear the other person's point of view, in all honesty, because we have already created this disconnection. But if we all realized and just like let those water down and, come to the conclusion that we're all on the same page. Like, I am religious, I am spiritual, I am new ageist, but there are going to be people who take advantage in all areas, no matter where you are. If you're religious, there are people who are going to take advantage of that for their own wants and needs and power, because it's not that they're bad people either. It's just that there are those of us that have gone through this experience more and are connected to this aspect, or like, I don't know, we've done healing, I'm not sure, but there are those that are just a little more lost, and or whatever is happening. I'm not going to even try and define that. There are others that are, for some reason, because there's this pain in their heart, or they haven't gotten to a certain point or something, they're blurred, their vision is blurred, and the thing that they're not feeling good, and what they have, somehow something has happened to them where they weren't feeling good, didn't know where to get that feeling of good, and they got it from power. Something gave them power at some point in their life, and they became addicted to that feeling because it was the only good that they had. And so then the vision gets blurred, and they just it's like an addiction in itself. It's weird. Anyways, I don't know. I'm trying to perceive what that is, but there's going to be people who, in all aspects, making whatever is good not look good, but that's where you have to find your own truth and go and follow your heart and your intuition, because there's goodness in all people, in all concepts. I don't know about all concepts, but in most concepts. Yeah, but that's my gist. That's what I was trying to get to. Bring it all back. He is greater than I. Like, we are. It's beautiful to believe in something greater than ourselves, but I also do believe that we are just as great. And I do believe that, like, the he thing kind of rubs me wrong. I think male is beautiful, women are beautiful. I just think, we have tried to explain things in a very 3D aspect. But my basis is we're all in this together, and the more that we create these boxes and division, the farther that we're going to get to actually what I know we all want, which is peace and love and understanding. And also, the more that we realize that our perceptions have such a huge part in how we're understanding things, is what forms our thoughts about this life, and what we think about this life encourages our actions and how to respond and like interact in this life. So yeah, how we see things, what we think about them, and our minds and our bodies naturally create patterns the more that we do things. So the more that we focus and see things, it's best to like see and kind of pull yourself out of yourself and be like, am I being aware? Am I following my heart and my soul, or am I just in my mind thinking and doing? Because we are that greatness. The more that we are aware of ourselves and like how we're taking in stuff, it allows us to be in better control of how we react and act in this life. So yeah, I don't have any advice. That's just me sharing. I feel like I'm like, oh, I'll have to come to this conclusion of like some piece of advice for you. I don't have to fix anything. This was me just sharing a perspective of mine. And so yeah, I just think the less division that we have, the better we'll be. So all you new agers and spiritual people and religious people, I love you all. We're all in this together. Let's unite and try and like, really come with solutions for this world and for us as a whole. I love you. I guess I did to give some advice. Whatever. Do you, boo? Yeah, much love. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you do want to hear more of my blabbles, I'm excited to share more about, my perspective, perception, opinions, and the different tools and ways that I get through. I know right now, this time is super difficult. I see a lot of people, including myself, where there's moments where it's just like we're shifting so much that what used to work isn't working anymore, and it's frustrating as shit. And like also while that's happening for ourselves, like the world around us, like it's not like how we've been doing things for a really long time isn't working, and we're coming to a point of clash. Like we're headbutting back our own process that we have created for ourselves because we don't like it anymore, and that's okay. That just means things got to change, and sometimes when change happens, it's uncomfortable, but it's okay, and it's going to be okay as long as we just are patient with ourselves and give ourselves like love and understanding, and like don't just retreat back to what we're used to, because it can be easy to do that. I find myself doing it, but yeah, it's okay. I see myself doing it, and then it's a muscle that we're building. It's a habit that we're trying to break. Like with my nails, I would always used to bite my nails. I would start to do it again. I wouldn't be like, oh, my life's horrible, I'm biting my nails again, I might as well just fuck it all, I'm gonna keep biting them. I could do that, but I just see that I'm doing it again, and I make a mental note, and I check back in with myself and my heart, and I go, hey, I love you. I know this is something that you used to do that made you feel better, but that doesn't it's not going in the direction you want it to go. It's not helping you any longer. So, and there's other ways to do it. So there's other ways to feel better than biting your nails. So yeah, just keep rechecking in with yourself when you notice yourself doing things that you used to do that you don't want to do anymore. And think about like, oh, okay, that's not how I want to do it. Like, it's not going to be helpful. What's a way that is going to be, I think that what's a way that will be, what's a different way I can do, like I'm saying I'm stressed, I'm biting my nails, what's something else I can do that will make me feel better? And just keep doing that. Keep like looking into the small actions and habits that you're doing, and when each time you go to make an action, or each time you go to take in information from someone, how you respond, think about it. Think like, is this action I'm about to make, or this thing I'm about to say, or this thing I'm about to watch, like are these going to make me feel good in the long run, not temporarily? That's the thing too. It's like, is this in the long run going to help me become and feel and be the best way that I want to be? That's what I keep doing, because the shit is crazy right now, and I keep also like looking at people around me and wanting to help and like really help. Like, what can I do? Like the best, I think, we can't, it's hard to like go and like offer help. I don't even know, like if someone came up to me and saw that I was in this position, was like, what can I do to help you? Offer space and support and like just listen. I don't know. Anyways, I'm babbling on. Y'all are awesome. Much love to you. Thank you for listening. Yeah, truth seeker out. Much love. Stay golden. All the little catchphrases. Till next time. Hasta luego. Later, alligator. If you have any phrases or, you know, little catchphrases or things you want to add to the concept, or yeah, if you want to add anything to this conversation, I forget, like, comment below. If you want to share, you want to reach out. I haven't really connected with you all either. I'm here to connect with you too, not just talk. Okay, much love. Deuces. Peace out. I'm doing it again. I'm also like, see that it's close to 30-minute mark, and my OCD, I think, is kind of like, oh, I could have done the 29:29. That would have been cool. Okay. I'm ending it now.